Draco here and Merfolk are indeed beating the best decks. I today have a couple of games we're gonna go through where we meet up against Hammertime and we meet up against Creativity, two of the strongest decks in the meta. And let's watch the action. But before we jump into the games, I want to let you know that I'm really excited about the progress we've been doing on the sub count. And if you just see here a bit, I am actually excited about this. And I've been wanting to do something for some time. So let's see here. This is my sub count. We are on 836 and we need 1,000. So when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a Merfolk sideboard guide on a video with this deck we are running here. So if you want that, tell your friends, tell your mom, get the subscription in. You can do it in this button right here. But let's get into the action with the Merfolk. So this is a list that I actually think is the most competitive version of Merfolk at the moment. Pretty close to this. If you want to do something, go close to this here. We have 20 lands, no Glassbloom mix. I don't like it. It's too slow at the moment. We wanna be able to do something on one, whether it being a Tide Chipper in an aggressive way against the blue deck, Ether Vial of course preferably, but also a Dismember against the Ragavan, or even another one drop. So 20 lands, 4 caverns. I changed a bit around, so I have 1 Warlock Grove, 1 Otavara, 1 Minamo for the non-basics, and then 9 islands. The creatures, we have the Tide Shippers of course, and then 2 Curse Catchers. People have been talking a lot about Mistcaller against Creativity. And I actually think that I've been on that trail as well, but my problem with the strategy of Mistcaller against Creativity is that Creativity running 4 Ren and 6, and you know these guys, they always have it on the second turn. So Mistcaller, you want to play it out, but if they have the Ren 6 out, they can just kill it easily and get this out the way beforehand. So I think there's a better option against Creativity. And I even think the Curse Catcher is also somewhat of a good answer against Creativity because it slows them down a turn. But just my take on this, I don't think Mistcaller is the best option against Creativity. And if you're not playing that, and Richer than Dockhand, I have another problem with that card right now as 1-drops because in the new way of playing with all these flashy effects, we don't really want to use the tap down effect. So I actually think that right now we're back to square one. No really good 1-drops, and I think Curse Catcher is actually the best option. So just put in a couple of those. 4 Dismembers and 2 Salty for the flex spots. Other than that, it's full blown, block normal Merfolk deck. Sideboard, 2 Spreading Seas, really great. Definitely have 2 extra Spreading Seas in the sideboard. 2 Harbingers, great against many of the creature-based decks. It's a creature-based meta right now, so Harbingers can definitely be there. And I also could definitely see a couple from the main deck. 2 extra Subtlety, 4 Force Negation, 3 Shells of the Void, and then the spicy one, the Ratchet Bomb, really interesting card right now. It not only does it handle Rhinos really well, but also it is good against Creativity, and even good against something like Hammertime or other creature decks that has creatures that cost 0 or 1. But let's watch the games, and this is what we're going to do today. We're going to watch the rematch of this game I played here. And normally you guys prefer, I know it, we keep this hand of course, you guys prefer that we play real live, but I wanted to just have a break of commenting on my plays and just see if I can perform really well. And then I recorded it and wanted to comment over it. And you can see right now, Springleaf Drum, so this is Hammertime. We have a decent hand with an Ether Vial, but not really that much interaction, which we really want against the Hammertime deck. Luckily for us, it seems like it's a pretty slow draw on their part. Springleaf Drum without even an Unearthed or anything like that. Not impressive. So we just pass the turn with the Ether Vial down. And we got ourselves our Giver of Runes. Giver of Runes and Cigar Estate. So Giver of Runes is a nice card. It allows them to protect their creatures. So when they attack in with an Unearthed, they want to put a hammer on. Giver of Runes can protect it. So important to get the Giver of Runes out of the way. But we don't have any of the Dismembers at the moment. So what are we going to do here? We are in trouble. They just resolved Cigadas 8. If they have a Colossus Hammer, they can apply that to the Give of Runes and won't really have any interaction. We don't have a Trickster or anything like that. So right now, it's not looking great. And considerations is what should we actually do in this spot? Should we just play out the Adept, hopefully to draw something, one of the solutions? That could be an option. But we also try to Tideshipper, one of the lands, but that doesn't really make that sense. Normally Tideshipper in this matchup, you want it against the Tideshippers, you really want them against the Ursa Saga. Let's just skip ahead a bit here. So we do play down the Tideshipper in order to try to see if we can get them off something, and they actually within the past here, hopefully it'll make them not being able to play something like the and he attacks here. That's pretty crazy, but that seems like he has Colossus Hammer because now he can play it in Flash Speed. So we're gonna take the chance. We don't want to use the Tideshipper to tussle with the Give of Runes. I'd rather just block with Curse Catcher. But of course, blocking with Tideshipper is better because then he's forced to put on the hammer. And now we know the hammer is on the Give of Runes. Unfortunately, we can't really interact with this right now, so we're just gonna get beating down. And even have a Shadow Spear, we can't handle that either. So now it's a Trample as well, so 12, 13 lifelink Trample with no interaction on that part. So if we don't draw a Trickster here, we are pretty far gone. And we don't. Let's see if we draw a Trickster now, because we were able to Violet in. So let's just play the Adept down. No Trickster, okay. So then there's not really anything we can do. We can put down a Lord and block, and then we actually still alive. So yeah, we can put down Lord and block, and then we don't take that much damage. And now we Solitude the Stoneforge Mystic. But it's not hot. Now it's out. It's end of his turn, and we can. We need to draw the Trickster now. And Stoneforge Mystic came on top, so that's going to come back as well. So we're not excited about our progress here. We should definitely put on some music while we do this. Let's go to sideboard. Okay, sideboarding. You want to have the Wretch Bumps. You want to have Chalice on 1. That's really great. You want to have Spreading Seas for the versus a Lance. You want to have the Dismembers. They are already in there. Force Negations is always also pretty decent, and Harbingers as well, so we actually really want to change our deck a lot. We don't like the Svelutes and the Adepts because those are for grinding matchups, so get them out. The Curse Catchers, they don't really counter that much. The Force Negation, they can counter the Cigadas 8, the Colossus Hammer, so they're really good. Salty is not that interesting. We could put in a couple of Harbingers, but we choose to keep in 2 Subtleties. Maybe we can stall them a bit, but I actually don't know if Subtlety is the right answer here. Maybe it's better just to have some other Lords so we can put pressure on the backswing for them. And we draw a hand with a lot of nice answers. This is great to see. We have the Force Negation. For early Cigadas 8, we have Chalice of the Void. Of course, being good on 1 against them. And we have Spreading Seas against versus Saga, and we have Dismember against a creature that is going to get a hammer on, so we can do that at instant speed. So look at this hand. This is just like all interaction. We're going the control route. That's absolutely the right approach against Hammertime. We can't raise them. They are way too fast. Put down Give of Runes, and notice here we actually accidentally tapped through it too fast. You should definitely be dismembering this. I was way too fast just clicking through here, but now we have to play out the Chalice of the Void. We can't sit around doing nothing. So that Give of Runes should have been killed by the Dismember here, but the Chalice is going to be really good, making sure that he can't really play out that many threats here. Pistol Paladin he can play out though, and now he can protect that with the Dismember. So not a great. That's okay for him, of course. Being able to pressure in some damage. And here we are considering what we should do. One of the things we were considering is that do we want to maybe put down the Wretched Bomb and stack that up, but also we could hold up Force Negation. I still think that it could be a line to put down Wretched Bomb to try to get the Give of Runes out there in a couple of turns and then dismember the Pure Steel Paladin. But we're not in a hurry. It's not that much damage they're taking. That he don't want to attack with the Give of Runes, so it's only 2 damage from the Pure Steel Paladin. Who cares about that, right? So be patient. We have the Force Negation up. He just passes, and now we can dismember the Give of Runes, get that out there if we want to. Then we just have to handle the Pure Steel Paladin, but that really doesn't do much before artifacts are in play. So now it ends up us killing the Give of Runes anyways. And a little late to the party, Mr. Ether Vial, but that's okay. We play it anyways and get a counter, because why not? I should have sign up the wall saying Chalice and 1. Chalice and 1. He plays in our end step Otherworldly Knight, and that's something we need to counter. So good thing we held up the mana here, because removing the Chalice will open up his game plan totally. Inkmoth Nexus is interesting because that actually gives him an alternative threat. Of course it's slow, but I think it's still worth considering a Spreading Seas. He plays another Pure Steel Paladin now. We are actually getting beaten down by the Paladins. Salty, interesting draw. These guys do not have that much interaction. We still want to get the Inkmoth Nexus out there and then just play the Wretched Bomb. Then we can consider the Salty later on. Taking 4 points of damage is okay. The Wretched Bomb can be relevant to get in play. So he's just passing, and we're gonna take up the Wretched Bomb. And now we have the Tide Chipper. Okay. But the Tide Chipper is gonna get countered by the Chalice of the Void, so no, don't do that again. Don't do that again. Now we just want to hold up the Subtlety. And then we can consider what to do with the Wretched Bombs. Here I actually think going down to 4 is scary, but I think we could have trickstered the Paladin. We could have done a lot of things, but now we just Subtlety and try to block. There's also a line of just letting the Wretched Bomb take care of these 2 Pure Steel Paladins. But this way we get to keep the Wretched Bomb on 1. So if you remove the Chalice, we can remove the Hammer from the Wretched Bomb. That's pretty nice to have that option. And now we have the Trickster to tap down the Pure Steel Paladin, if that's something you want to do. And we can start applying a bit of pressure. I see he can't really do anything. So goes to sideboarding. Nothing we want to change really. And we open the good. This is a good one. We have the Dismember, and we have the Force Negation. Again, we are on the controlish end of this matchup. So let's see what's gonna go down on his side. Only Hopter, yeah. That's not dangerous before it gets a big hammer on it. On that it's just a 0-2. Fine, we can counter a lot. It's all about what you want to counter. You need to be aware of your resource usage in this matchup. So let's see what he does. Here comes Give of Runes. Okay, we can't counter that. So let's just see what's gonna happen. Okay, now we don't want to do the same play again, so let's just kill off the Give of Runes. It'll protect the Unhopter anyway, so might as well get it out there. Since we drew the Lord and we can't resolve a force, let's just get some pressure on the board. We're running to this Synthwave. Always nice. But I sure enjoy you guys following, and I'll be doing a lot more action. Ooh, Gingerbrute coming in. I love that that's something you can do actually. Here Shadowspear comes in. And actually considering here, is that really something we wanna you know, force? I don't know if it is, because it's only a +1/+1 to creatures, so it goes from 1 to 2 power. So I really don't think that the Shadowspear matters. There's better things we could be countering. You can't really equip it either, so. And just passes. Okay, Dismember, that's a good draw. Now we have more interaction. This is the round where we're considering either we play out the Lord of Lenses, so we can put pressure on, and we still have the Force Negation up. So I think it's fine just to have 2 3/3s out and a Dismember up. Drawing the Dismember, I think, makes us really want to deploy our threats, and from now on we can hold up both Force Negation and Dismember. Boom, boom. What is he going to do? He's tapping mana. He's passing the turn. So you see, this is not going great for the Hammertime player. Now we have 3 Force Negations. We're just beating down with our 2 lords. This time around, we don't want to activate the Muda Vault. No hurry. We just want to be able to interact. These guys, they don't have much of interaction. So these 2 lords, I'm just like, yeah, I can chip them away, and I can counter everything they do. Or at least any non-creature spells. Boom, we win the match, and we go to the next match. And this is up against Captain CC. And I can say already now that this is a guy who's playing Creativity. And we have a hand which is really interesting. We had the discussion in the, you know, it's a big discussion. Do you keep hands like this? I think on the draw with a blue producing land with Ether Vial, I think you do, because you just have to draw any land and then you can resolve or adapt on 2. But if you don't draw land for 2 turns or 3 turns, then it's like you're still only playing 1 spell a turn, right? So I think this is a correct keep, but if it was a Muda Vault, then you could consider if that would be correct, because then you need to draw exactly a blue source. But yeah, I think it's still correct to do it. And here we got big old Ren and 6. Of course, we know the guy. This is one of the situations where saltying Ren 6 could be an option, because if we don't draw a land here, we're just so far behind. We just pass the turn and he'll just go all in on the value. But then again, it's gonna come back right the turn after. But yeah. What would you do? Subtlety here? Let me know in the chat. Do you subtlety a Ren 6 on 2? It's a 2 mana planeswalker that comes back. I think we go for it. I think that's the right line in this moment, but it's you can tell me what you think in there, but that's just so much tempo loss. And notice here that he bottoms it, and that's actually really interesting, because I was just like, why would you ever bottom that one? But what does that make me do? Now we draw a land here. Gonna name Merfolk. And many lines would be just to run out the edit, but I'm actually thinking, why would he bottom a Ren 6 in that moment? This is their biggest way of getting continuously red mana for the Creativity. So I think it's because he has another Ren 6 in hand. I think that's exactly why. So I don't want to run out the edit just to get it shut down by the Ren 6. I much rather want to hold up the Merfolk Trickster, so I can go counter aggressive on the Ren 6. Let's see. Absolutely correct. And now he puts it down. and fetches the fetch back. And now we just play down the Trickster because we want to put on the damage on the Red and 6. But again, if you don't kill Red and 6, is it really worth nudging it down? So that's the continuous discussion. We draw a Lord, so now we can actually hit it for 3. Is that better? Could be a consideration, but I think in this moment, it's hard to tell. Actually, I think I do the wrong line here, because I think what I do is that I play down the Lord to hit for 3, and then I say I can hold up Adept in the end step so he won't kill them. But actually, I think the right line in this moment, I think now I ignore the Ren 6, because if I can't kill it, I rather want to just pressure his damage. And we do have Island Walk because of the Sanders Lounge. But I actually think the right play here could have been to play down the Cavern from the Adept from the Cavern, and then if he shoots with Ren 6 on the Adept, you can play the Lord and nullify the damage. But then then if he has a removal spell like Prismari Command, then he can blow you out. So maybe this is actually a more conservative, correct line, because the Prismari Command would then be able to kill off the Lord in his own turn, and then the Adept would still die. So if it's another try, I mean, look at all these red mana sources. That's what you need to look after when you're playing against Creativity. It's a 3 red mana and X spell. So as soon as they have the 3 red mana, then you gotta be aware. Here comes the fetch land, so now they can find the dwarf token. And actually right here they have a window to resolve Archon. We don't know if this is Creativity or not. We only know that it's a guy playing Ren 6. But it sure does look like Creativity. And he just passes. So what does that mean? Well, might as well get the Adept in there. And now he goes for the play. I think he was afraid of the Hexcatcher. So that's why he's playing down, I think it's Prismari Command now, and gives away that it's Creativity. Good for us that he did not. He respected the Either Vile Hexcatcher line. And now he takes off, gets a good 2-for-1. But I get a 2-for-1 as well by putting in the Adept. And another Adept, that's fine. Curse Catcher, okay. So this is the situation where we can't really play down Adept at this moment, because if you don't draw land, we can't hold up this member. So I think we just attack with the Trickster, and I actually think that this is a mistake. We attack the Trickster on the Ren 6, but we should have just attacked with the Adept. He's never gonna block if he has the Creativity in play. So offering up the Adept would have been the right line. I'll play the Curse Catcher, that's fine, and we can hold up this member. And Curse Catcher is a nuisance for him because it counters his Creativity, but I forget here that of course he can just kill it with Ren 6, but then he doesn't kill the Adept. So again, should have attacked with the Adept, and then I think it's correct to play down the Curse Catcher, so it can only kill 1. We can sit on our hands, do nothing, so. And Fable comes in. Can't do anything about the Fable. And just passes here. I think we just want to take out the Shaman token. But he does have the Spell Pierce. Svelun is not the best draw, so we don't really love our situation. But now I just want to pressure the Ren 6, and I think he lets it die here. Which is fine, then he can't kill off the adepts anymore. But we are just really like in all-in mode at this moment. We play down the adept and we get to draw a master. Opponent is playing relatively slow, so I want to just skip through. And now we put the Archon in the graveyard from the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That's always dangerous when they do that. Now they attack with the team. Okay. Treasure token, so it doesn't look great. I think we just block with the Chairman token. Oh, actually we don't with the Adept. You can see here now he can use Persist on the Archon. But we have some outs here we can draw. But now I Dismember killing off the Adept is game over. But yeah, I don't think we would have played that much differently. So against Creativity, what we want to be doing here is that we want to get in the Ratchet Bombs, because they can take out all the creatures, all the treasures, all the tokens that cost 0. Ratchet Bombs are great. Adepts, again, not amazing because it's too slow. Spreading Seas is decent because we want to keep them off red mana. So that's actually fine just to put in some Spreading Seas. Fortifications are good because, of course, it can counter Creativity and can counter Renaissance. And the Ratchet Bombs are good. Okay, we get to draw this hand, this is perfectly fine. And I actually think we do have some options against him. But let's just put down the Ethervial. The Hexcatcher is going to do some work here. I think we just... putting down a counter on the Ethervial, and then we drew the Ratchet Bomb. Interesting line to do that. We can't really type Chipper in, but against the Renaissance, I think it's better to hold up Hexcatcher so we're able to counter something. Counter the Renaissance if that comes in. So let's see what happens. He just plays a land, so no Renaissance here. And now we want to play the Trickster instead of the Hexcatcher. So that's just a great way of keeping our hand a bit more concealed. And now, since we have the Ethervial up on 2, we are able to flash in the Hexcatcher from the Ethervial. So now I think it's much better just to Tide Chipper and mana deny him. And I actually think we take out... yeah, Silence Lounge is good, but I think it's better to keep him off green. Okay. And we're looking pretty nice. And here, the big consideration is, do we want to run out the Vodalian Hexcatcher? I don't think we do. I think we still wait. This is because if we do that, he can Prismaric Command in response. That would be not good. So we just going to play patiently, holding up our outs and attacking and chipping away. We don't have any pressure of being fast here. The thing we could consider is to continuously deny him more mana. I don't think they have that much mass removal in the deck. So now we're just gonna try to take out Santa's Lounge to really mana deny him a lot. And with Hexcatcher back out, it's just really great. But he does tap it for mana. What does he do? Captain CC on the spot. What's gonna happen? He does Ice the Island, which is just a way of cycling a card. Of course, that means that we don't have Dismember up, but we have a Hexcatcher up, so that's absolutely fine for us. It seems like he just wanted to draw a card. And now in his own turn, he cracks the land and accidentally taps out for Fable of the Mirror Breaker, meaning that we can now put in Hexcatcher and counter it for free. or I mean sacking one Trickster to counter the Fable. So that was pretty horrible by him. And we get a really nice win here with the Hexcatcher countering the Mirror Breaker. Yeah. Nothing we want to do different. Let's take the next game. The final. No, I think it's match 2. We lost the first one against Draco. So let's do this. 1-1. Let's see if we can make a Captain CC pay for his insolence. Dismember is a fine draw. We have interaction now, but here it's like, do we really want to run out the Curse Catcher at this moment, risking getting a Renaissance? I think maybe we should just do that, because if he doesn't play if he plays the Renaissance, he just get value and we have nothing on the board, but it's not great. Luckily for us, it does not have the Renaissance, and now we can do some other plays. And I think we're just gonna try to manage line a bit here. So we're just gonna put Renaissance on that island. That also means that he needs to find a green source if you want to play Renaissance, and he didn't have the Renaissance last turn. The reason why Dismembers are good is because you can kill the creatures he's sacking in response, and now he's mana denied, so that's really good. And since he's mana denied like this, we could consider the Sphere Loon. But I think it's better to make absolutely sure we are safe. So we just hold up Hexcatcher, put down Hexcatcher, and allowing ourselves to hold up Trickster and Hexcatcher. So now we just put down Trickster. Interesting draw, Tide Shaper. Again, a situation where putting down this Velum might make sense, but I actually think that it's fine just to be cautious. He bolts the Curse Catcher, so we're using prime removal on our bad 1-drops here. And now he can Nature's Claim that one. So now he opens up his mana. And look at this. We can't really counter that without having to sack 2 creatures. This game actually is a bit weird because he has a slow start. Now we get to counter the Fable from Mirror. That's really great. Countering by sacking the Trickster. Again, really value. He taps out the Fable and we get to counter it nicely. And now we can resolve. We just want to keep him off his mana again. We're still holding up Dismember, so even if you can find the Dwarven token, we can Dismember something here. So look, it's looking decent. And he goes for the Prismaric Command. No, I think what's it he's stepping up for? Yeah, Prismaric Command. Killing that and getting to draw and discard 2 cards. Again, I'm just like, yeah. This though is a pretty good line because he frees up his red mana, but we get to get a counter on the Prismaric Command with the Hexcatcher. So I think he's correct to do it because you want to open up his mana. Great draw here. And this is where we actually do a pretty good big mistake. Because notice here that this is an interesting situation because he's starting out by Leyline Binding. We're gonna force that because that's a way to take out our Sphere Loon. And then he uses Veil of Summer, and I just tapped through it, but we could have countered the Veil of Summer by sacking the Hexcatcher. And now we end up having nothing but the Sphere Loon play, and actually I was just like frustrated. Now we probably lost that game, and now I just have the recording from. So I had the recording from the MTGO. But what we should have done here is that we of course should have countered the Veil of Summer. That was just a fast click through, and now we're actually under pressure. He's two cards in hand. We do the Force Negation, and we only have the Hexcatcher and 2 Dismembers, so it's not looking that great. And now he finds the Dwarven Mine to put in a Dwarf token. because he can go for his creativity. Luckily, we drew the force negation. But actually, we choose to use Dismember instead, because in that situation where you only have the one target, then it's a much better use of your resources. So choose to do that. And we just drew a Spreading Seas. Interesting card, but not right now, because if he can still resolve creativity. So I think what we do is that we just gotta keep that in hand, so we can use that to pitch to force negation. And we play down the Svaelun. He has the Renin 6. We don't want to counter that, because then we are pretty open. And he shoots on the Redundant Hexcatcher and doesn't pay the war trigger. I think you could have argued for countering the Renin 6, but I wanted to protect the Svaelun. That's going to be our draw engine, and it's going to kill him in 2 turns, just like the Redundant Hexcatcher. So we managed to win. Really nice to see. And looking at the deck, I'll just say I've just been really impressed by this list. It's just working really well, and you can find the deck list in the YouTube comments here. So thank you guys for watching. This was fun, and hopefully you will tell your friends about the Merfolk only YouTube channel, Draco Wing, and we can get up to 1,000 subs and do the cool sideboard guide for you guys. So do that, and I'll be back for more action. Moving on. Bye bye.